Hello everyone, good morning, welcome back to the Hearthstone monthly ladder. My name is Rooster and this is Dragon N'Zoth Priest. Well, that is a combination that might not be all that familiar to certain people, because there is a combination of some rather clashing priest strategies. Because N'Zoth priest decks are usually more on the control-ish side of the spectrum, and Dragon Priests are very minion-based. Do we keep anything here? I guess I'll keep the Shifting Shade just in case. Not entirely enamored with it, but it'll have to do. That is a decent draw, but I don't have a dragon to activate the Twilight Whelp with, which is a little annoying. Now we do though, so that is actually pretty good. We've got a curve going now, and that I'm happy with.
Greetings.
So, yeah, I got this idea by one of my opponents on the ladder, actually, in a few episodes back, I think, who I thought was playing a much more aggressive priest list. I'm not quite sure. Well, at first, at the very least, and then that was mostly because of the huge toads and Twilight Whelps, I think he played. Actually, he played Northshire Cleric into Huge Toad or something, and I was thinking, well, that's a more minion-based deck. I was feeling rather inspired and whipped up this deck list, which has been treating me well. It has been treating me surprisingly well on the ladder, so yeah, I'm curious to see how it works out. That is a little bit of an empty turn 3, but I'm still happy about coining the Blackwing Ignatian. I am. She's actually. Oh, I was going to say, is she trading into that? I probably should have. Well, the Blessing of Kings is still fine here. I can even play the Loot Hoarder just to cycle. That's probably okay. This is a pretty exciting card. I should have thought about that. I basically just ignored the thing, and then it is a little bit greedy, I will say. Do I mind if she kills that next turn? Might as well make her expend a little more resources, I guess. It's fine. The Loot Hoarder doesn't really add anything onto the board right now. So sure. I don't mind if she fireballs this. That is a rather empty turn for her, so that's okay. And then we'll see what we have coming up next.
Let's make magic.
I was going to say that could still be a fireball, but it wasn't. That is a bit puzzling. What is she trying to do? Just to get really, really lucky, I guess? I'm not sure what's going on here, but I will happily hold Uno on this board, sure. Absolutely no problem with me. Do I actually... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. This has a total of 6 health... 7 health even. Okay, so that heals her up completely. Excellent. There's no situation in which I rather Blackwing Ignatian, Blackwing Corruptor, right? I don't think so. If I can get some value out of her Linova, then that's absolutely fine with me. We can even Blackwing Corruptor that next turn if she does not trade it into one of our minions. Okay, here comes the trade. That is absolutely fine. We've got plenty of more minions where those came from. So we do have an additional dragon in the form of the Azure Drake, so we could commit the Twilight Guardian over here. Alternatively, we could go for the Shifting Shade. I don't hate the Shifting Shade, along with the Loot Hoarder, I guess. That is not a board she wants to Flame Strike. It will give me an additional card. I could just go for the Twilight Guardian and the Loot Hoarder, though, which is even more resilient to a Flame Strike. I kind of like that. If she hero powers next turn, then that's absolutely fine with me. So, yeah, the N'Zoth is not exactly as impressive as in most in most actual N'Zoth deck lists. That is curious. She's just waiting for me to commit more to the board, isn't she? Well, so I'm not having any of that. Shifting Shape will be fine, let's just heal face. Keep attacking. There will be a Yogg at some point, which might be troublesome. But we could, if that's her plan, play... not next turn, but the turn after, play a Sylvanas. Because she can't really risk playing Yogg on a board where I have a Sylvanas, so that's really good. Setting up for a Flame Strike next turn, I guess? I'm not exactly sure, but... What do I wish to commit to a Flame Strike here? I guess I don't mind giving up the huge toad here. That is probably fine. The dragon will still survive, so that's okay. Let's just heal that up. Not sure what your plan is, dear opponents, but I am certainly okay with this. So if the Flame Strike comes out here, then the Twilight Guardian likely survives, and then we'll commit the Sylvanas to prevent Yogg from happening for at least one turn, so that's okay. Yeah, we can't quite kill her next turn, but that's okay. Just heal that up, I guess. I guess we just heal that up and play the Sylvanas. I kind of like it here. Oh, I completely forgot to attack there. Whoops. That is a small mistake. Doesn't really matter too much. Might force out a polymorph or something, so that's probably fine. Or a fireball even. Okay, Flamewaker time. Sure. We've got the Corruptor coming up next turn, so that's kind of okay. We can even steal the... Oh, we really want to steal that, don't we? Yes, I would like that.
Let me change your mind.
I would definitely like to see that. And killing that is probably prudent. Oh, I should have waited to see where the things landed, but that's entirely okay. That was the correct choice after all. So our opponent could be 3 lower than she currently is. There's another Flame Strike. Alright, we've got plenty more where that came from.
No.
So, did not actually... she did not polymorph our Sylvanas, so I think I'm okay with committing the Sarah here. Sure. Let's just gather a few cards. We can't really put on enough pressure to really... Well, we could have N'Zoth, I guess. That wouldn't be terrible. Because she's used both of her Flame Strikes, that would probably not suck. I should have definitely considered that. But the Blackwing Corruptor is still pretty good here. Do keep in mind that we don't want to play the Azure Drake pretty much in the coming few turns. Because we really need that. I'm actually thinking to clear some more minions here, so let's see if this triggers anything. Does not. In that case, we probably in that case want to do... I'm not sure where that's a secret from the Conjurer, right? Well, there's not much we can say about that. Could be a counterspell, I guess. Let's test for that. It's not a counterspell. Could be a mirror image in that case. Let's test for that one.
Are you mocking me?
It is a mirror entity, alright. I'm fine with giving her this. Then we kill that one, and we're in okay shape again. Although Yogg could definitely change a whole lot. That is why we should probably not Durdle, and just should have N'Zoth on the turn when we could, but we'll just have to... That is not really accomplishing anything, I'm afraid, but sure, you're welcome to.
I shall bring you rest.
Do we just N'Zoth right now? I don't think she can easily deal with our board, although we might need N'Zoth to stock up after Yeah, we probably want to stock up with N'Zoth after the Yogg hits. So let's just go for this for now. Because N'Zoth might really screw things up here. I mean Yogg. So that's what we... Yeah, that's probably not going to save you. Unless you get a really lucky hit here... not really, no. We've got 9... Well, we can't kill her, unfortunately, but we do have the Shadow Word Death, so that's probably
I
fine.
shall bring you rest.
You think this is funny?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of burst in this deck, but we can survive an awful lot, so let's just heal our face here and not commit anything unnecessary. Alright. So even if she has a polymorph here, she'll be hard-pressed to survive in the first place. Alright, and that's it.
Well played.
So if I was really scared of the Yogg happening, I probably should have just N'Zothed and then aimed to kill her as soon as possible. Just because putting some pressure on her might be more worthwhile than making the efficient trades. So yeah, Ysera did do a big job there, so kudos to that. And let's see, ooh, a doppelganger indeed. Wow. Oh, that's our opponent's name, by the way. In case you wondered where that came from. I'm thinking about keeping an Azure Drake, actually. Perhaps even against a Priest. No, we do want some semblance of a curve, so I think getting a curve going is going to be more important than keeping a dragon in the opener. Wyrmrest Agent, not awful, not particularly impressive early game, but I guess we might as well get them out early before they get stolen. So there's something.
Greetings.
Do we want to coin one out? I'm pretty sure we don't. Let's just first see what kind of opponent we're up against. Expecting dragons, but definitely not necessarily.
Mocking me?
And getting this out there, it's probably okay. Not putting on a lot of pressure, but it's better than nothing. Might be able to kill that next turn with the extra Wyrmrest Agent. That is probably worthwhile. We could also consider using the Loot Hoarder now. Although, yeah, that does work. We could commit both, actually. So, that could be a thing. I'm just going to go for this one, though. Coining out the extra Wyrmrest Agent seems to be a little greedy to me. So, could have... Okay, well that does kind of work. Doesn't give him any room to heal. And I can still trade this in, so all is not lost. Although it is definitely a little annoying, I will admit. Blackwing Technician, not awful here. Definitely does a decent impression of being able to kill that. Don't wanna commit the dragon. I could coin out the Excavated Evil, that seems kind of terrible. Let's just trade into this one. Let's keep in mind that we need to save our Entomb. I'm fine with going Blackwing Technician here. No particular need to coin anything unnecessary out. Could be a little unfortunate in case of a second Disciple. That's a decent Shadow Word Bane too, but against a Cthulhu Priest, what do we need to be careful about? I don't know. We can't let our Sylvanas get entombed. That's kind of a concern. And let's see, we don't have an additional dragon to trigger the other things, so that's a little annoying. We definitely don't want to entomb any of this. We could go for the Sylvanas and hope he does not have... I actually kind of like it. It's not that likely that he'll have the entomb right now, and in that case his best solution might just be to trade both of the Twilight Elders in, which is pretty good for us. And otherwise, I think the entomb would be pretty clear, so I would have expected it to happen already. And that bodes well for us right now. Alright, trading both in, that is excellent. That's more than I could ask for, and Sylvanas has died, which is actually rather important. That card is a problem, I think. What's the worst that could happen? There's a lot that could happen, unfortunately. So we don't have a way to deal with that aside from entombing it, and that seems like a horrible idea. So we may just have to... I don't like where this is going. What would be the worst that could happen? I'm thinking of playing the Azure Drake here, but that would leave me without a dragon for quite some time. Maybe I just go for the Wormrest Agent and leave it at that. Yeah, that could be true. Go for Wormrest Agent and huge Toad, and then we'll see what happens later. I don't particularly like it, but it does something if he trades the Bran into the Toad after stealing the Wormrest Agent. Then we get to... Yeah, right, that's the worst that could happen. Well, we couldn't deal with that, right? That is a little unfortunate. That is more than a little unfortunate, I might add. Which also means that we can't get to the Bran, which is really awful. So we need to kill that at the very least. We could excavate an evil. That is pretty bad. That is definitely pretty bad. Let's get started by killing that one though. Every little bit has to start somewhere, right? And that means that we're leaving it at this. Ooh, that's not good. Not being able to deal with the Bran with any card in our hand feels really bad. So we get some decent traits, but it is reasonably likely that ew, that is disgusting. This Cthulhu starts to become really big too. And he can still heal his Emperor even. Oh my. Well, we are kind of screwed right now. That is not good. But should I really have entombed Bran though? Oh my gosh. Not even anything I can... Okay, well, I guess that's game. I don't even know how to deal with this. Excavated Evil does basically nothing. That is not a bad card, but... well, it snipes the Bran, so that's something. It's a little late for that, though. Oh my. If only I could have just stolen that Bran, that would have been pretty great. That would have been pretty great, but things are looking grim here. The most frustrating thing here is that I can't even Shadow or Death anything. I would have loved to be able to Shadow or Death one of those Emperors over there. He's got 12 damage on the field. We may just have to Excavate the Evil and hope for the best. How about that? That's not good, but it is something, and we need something right now. We can Azoth next turn if we're surviving that. I don't think we're surviving that. Chilmo might be good in a similar deck like this, but not exactly this deck, by the way, in case you're wondering. Mostly because Chilmo happens to trigger a lot in a deck like this, and then it just kills basically everything you want from your N'Zoth. So that basically does nothing.
Well played.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. That was pretty much all the Bran. Not being able to deal with the Bran cost us the game there. We could have dealt with one less Emperor, I think. And then maybe got a N'Zoth turn just about this turn, perhaps. Perhaps we should have been more aggressive with our early minions. That's definitely a possibility. Always keep looking for ways to improve. That is always a good piece of advice, in my opinion. Always look for ways in which you could improve if you were to face a similar situation, because that will happen if you play a deck more than once. You'll definitely find yourself in similar situations again. Let's see. We don't have a dragon, so we want to throw this away, and I think also the Power Word Shield, because it's not too impressive. And we really just want a dragon to combine with the Wormrest Agent. I would like to be able to fit another dragon in this deck, but that will be tricky. Okay, so coining out the Toad doesn't seem awful here. He could exit, I guess. That is a thing that can happen, but that at least does require the first X charge, so that's probably okay. The good thing about the huge Toad is that it does force your opponent to have a way to deal with it after they play a 1/3 on turn 1. So it's actually pretty decent against Mana Worms, against Tunnel Trogs, against Sir Finleys. Notwithstanding, of course, the power of Fiery War Axe, which is a real thing, unfortunately. So an aggressive warrior deck, right? Do we want to just throw out a Wormrest Agent? Well, it's better than nothing, and it kills Finley over 2 turns. It is better than healing our face for 1, for sure. And as long as we're not drawing any dragons, then they're not going to be particularly worthwhile for us, I think.
For the life binder.
Okay, that is somewhat decent. That is a pretty good card, I will say. Oh, it does kill the Finley over 2 turns if left alone, of course, but yeah, that goes without saying. There's our dragon, so that's something. And I guess it's going to be the play right now? Sure. So our opponent does know that we have drawn a dragon in between last turn and now, but... yeah, of course. So that is a card that you would like to have Shadow Word Pain against, I suppose. Not a bad draw, though. That will deal with the Alexstrasza's champion at the very least, and we are a much slower deck than our opponent, so anything that deals with his minions while getting half a decent trade is going to be sorta good for us. So yeah, that Twilight Guardian would have been left alive regardless, so not much we can do about that. We could go for the Azure Drake here, but I kinda like just going for the Shadow Word Death and preserving a little bit of our health. I don't know about that though. What would be the likely scenario here? We're leaning on 6. Can he bring us down? He can bring us down to 15 and then play a huge thing. That is not a problem if we still have the Shadow Word Death, though, so that is something. That is a really bad draw if we don't have a dragon anymore, though. Kind of a problem. Will be a bit of a bad card until we actually draw into something useful. Okay. So what can we do here? We do have some spell power, so that's half decent at least. That does make the Excavated Evil kill our Azure Drake, though. But it does wipe most of the board, at least. I guess it's kind of okay. We're still taking 3 next turn from the Twilight Guardian, but we can... Can we stabilize next turn? We could go for Sylvanas, but that would mean we're pretty much dead, right? I don't think we have any realistic other options, to be perfectly fair. So let's go for this one. Maybe we should have gone for the Shadow Word Death, I don't know. We would have had 5 more life right now, but we wouldn't have had the Azure Drake on the table. Which did help us clear the board, so there's something to be said for that. Keeps tapping. The life tap really hurts too. Because, well, the Warrior's not running out of cards anytime soon, so that's really troublesome. Has 5 damage right now. Corruptor's not doing anything. I'm pretty sure we just have to go for the Sylvanas here and see if we can make a miracle happen. I don't even think we had a... Well, we did have kind of a bad start, to be perfectly fair. Because we did not have a dragon and 2 Wormest agents, which were a little awkward. I would have... if we could have curved nicely at the start, we would have been in a much better position health-wise right now. So that is something. A little unfortunate, and that's combined with the life-type hero power. I'm not sure we can recover from that, but if we can get to 10 mana and have a decent N'Zoth, then we might be okay. But we're taking a lot of damage here. And that is a big problem right now. Can we win if we steal? We can go for a 50-50 and steal the Grommash. I guess that could work. By Shadow or Deathing our own Sylvanas. That is something. If all else fails, we have lost. We can't win if we entomb that. We don't have another way to get rid of our... Okay, so that's going to be the play. Let's take the 50-50. That is not the 50-50 we're looking for. Anyways. So that's a little unfortunate, but our opponent did have a really good curve over there, and the life tap really bailed them out. So we stumbled a little bit, our opponent did have a good curve, and that is hard to deal with sometimes. So don't feel too horrible, but yeah, that is unfortunate. Because Dragon Warrior is a matchup that we can definitely win, I think. If we curve out nicely and so does he, then... Well, Fiery War Axe is still a big pain, I will admit. Okay, let's see how we deal with Warlock. If this is Zoo, then I've sorta got a curve. I just need a dragon, basically. So I think I'll throw away the Tactician in the hopes of getting a dragon. Do I really? Maybe against Zoo a 2-4 is just as good as a 3-5. I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. We could still get lucky and draw a dragon, or we could choose to skip a turn, and I'm not sure about that. But I'll happily play a Twilight Whelp against the Warlock. That is probably okay. And especially if he does not coin out a Voidwalker, and that makes me really happy. So let's go for the huge Stoat here, and we've got a curve going. I will play the Lidhorda next turn if I don't draw a dragon and nothing spectacular happens here. I think. Actually, well, I guess that's spectacular enough. We don't have a taunt. We could let him do the trading, but I don't know whether that's going to be worth it. We've got a better curve going. We don't need to be as greedy. We can just trade this away. Got a nice curve going, so don't need to worry too much. Shifting Shade next turn is not ideal, but it's okay. He still has the coin and he hasn't used it yet. That's actually kind of surprising. Still has yet to use it. That is actually kind of puzzling, but let's not worry too much. Do we want to heal this? We might actually want to heal that, don't we? Because he's going to trade it in with something like a Dark Iron Dwarf, an Abusive Sergeant. I don't like where that is going. And the Shifting Shade... Well, the Shifting Shade is pretty much the same as this, but if I can save this, that is going to be pretty good for us, I think. So sure, let's give that a try. Let's at least make him waste a Power Overwhelming on that, right?
Put this apple on your head.
Okay, oh, a Soulfire, okay. That is not a Power Overwhelming, so that's okay. No more Soulfire. Oh, there's actually a chance that there is a Soulfire in the deck. Okay, coins out. A Direwolf, please don't hit that. Oh, that is really nice. That is really, really nice. Okay. So, what is next? We don't have a dragon, so we could go for Shifting Shade and Power Word Shield. Do we want to shield the Shade in that case? I think killing the Knife Juggler is going to be more important than that, so we will just shield the Shade and that is fine. And shielding Loot Hoarder wouldn't matter if we found trading into the Knife Juggler to be more important than trading into the Direwolf. So that is why that happened as it happened. That is not amazing, but still rather annoying, to be honest. Let's see what we can do about that. Well, we have a taunt, that is pretty good. And in that case, probably another Power Word Shield, to be honest, because it also lets us... Ooh, yeah, we care more about the taunt right now, right? So let's just give the taunt more health. I think I want more health on this one. And then we can play this with the bonus. That is actually pretty sweet. Alright. Looking very decent so far. We haven't found any of our board wipes yet, but we haven't needed them yet. But this is kind of the turn where things start to go sour, though. So would be nice to draw into a Holy Nova, I guess. Oh, he even traded the Direwolf. I would have done that for him, but that is absolutely fine with me. Let's just keep trading into his minions, don't we? Yeah, it's going to be pretty good with the Direwolf, so let's just kill as many as possible, not worry too much about what's happening here. Power Overwhelming does not kill this, does still kill this because its maximum health is 5, so let's heal that one. We could heal our face, and that would be a realistic consideration if we were any lower than we are right now.
Why do you call?
I am not incredibly worried about my health situation right now. That is the second ritual. I reiterate that that a Holy Nova would be really sweet over there, but it's hard to complain about our situation right now. It really is. Do we just play more minions? I think we do. We don't really care about the health on our stuff here. Do we care about which minion to kill? I guess the Imp's a demon, although I don't particularly care about that. Do we want to heal a minion? If he has a Direwolf, he could kill one of these, but he would be able to do that regardless. So let's just play more minions and see how this goes. It's looking pretty good, but even just one Direwolf could turn things sour, I guess. Okay, that's good, that's good. So that kills that, the 3-1 kills one of the 2 health. Oh, just goes face, wow. Does not even kill the shade or something, wow. I am actually amazed here. He allows us to trade into his minions, that's really nice of him. And I think that means we won this one. Calling it preemptively, but I don't think that's a stretch. If he had traded into our shades, then he might have been kind of okay, but we are starting the beatdown right now. And that is not spectacular, although that is a decent play there.
I shall bring you.
This does allow us to easily trade into his minions. We should have played the Sea Giant there, but do I particularly care? We can still play the Sea Giant, it's okay. We weren't planning on doing anything besides playing the Sea Giant anyway, so that is pretty reasonable. That's not a bad card to find if you're stealing something from a Zulok deck. That's actually pretty reasonable. Okay, and what do you got? Is that a taunt? Because otherwise you're dead, and even with a taunt, you are most likely... Alright, there we go.
I shall bring you rest.
So that's a decent example of how to curve out. And even against the zoo, I'm actually really surprised that I managed to beat the zoo without even drawing into my Holy Nova or Excavated Evil. Pretty sweet. Okay, and let's see what else is on the ladder today. So it's actually curious. This deck has 1 Excavated Evil, 1 Holy Nova, mainly because I don't know which one I want. Holy Nova is pretty good in a creature-based deck such as this, so it might very well be possible that I just want 2 Holy Novas instead of the Excavated Eagle. But it did turn out to be pretty relevant against the Dragon Warrior, even though we lost that game. I think I still keep the Technician, to be honest. We're up against the Warrior. Yeah, the Technician even as a 2-4 is not embarrassing. So I think I will keep that. Let's see what kind of Warrior we're up against.
Greetings.
I don't hate keeping a 2 and a 3. It's a bit of a stretch to try and fish for a 1 and a 2. Because it's just too low of a chance, basically. The Dragon Whelps are nice if you can draw them, and it's nice to even draw in the late game because it is a dragon. So if you draw them after turn 4 or something, then it's definitely not embarrassing to just keep hanging on to them to buff your other dragon cards. And Technician does have a decent matchup against the Ghoul here, although I'm expecting a Slam. Or just a Dragon, okay. Blood to Ichor on that one, that doesn't deal with it. So he just wants to have some minions on the board, and I can't blame him for that. But we do get a decent trade here, so I'll definitely take that. And we don't get a taunt, unfortunately, actually. So we can heal this up. That is probably the best idea right now. Going for the Loot Hoarder, and then... Or we could go for the 2/6, actually. It's still not terrible. So this always happens. And that means we can add a 2/6 on the board, or we can heal this up to the 3/3. That means this one cannot trade in, and then the Loot Hoarder... then the Loot Hoarder is actually meaningful. Okay, so the obvious trade here is to do this, but then he cannot trade this one in, so that is actually not too bad. It does make our next turn a little more awkward, so perhaps I should have made note of that. Let's see, what do we want to do here? We can actually kill that after we trade the Loot Hoarder in, so that's not awful. Alright, I don't mind that. Let's trade the Loot Hoarder, Shadow of Death, that one. Because that's not entirely unreasonable, I think. Oh, would this have worked? No, it would not. No. This is a fine trade, and we could Forbidden Shaping, or... Forbidden Shaping for 2 is really poor. I think I'll just heal this so it doesn't die to the second Ghoul, should he happen to have that. Or perhaps a Blood to Ichor or something. I would have really liked to steal that taunt, but that might still be a thing that happens later. So still something to keep in mind. Got a Druid Hero Power, that's definitely not spectacular. Not exactly what he wanted, so that's good for us. We can kill the dragon, we can't heal afterwards, unfortunately. He's really aggressive here. I guess that's just how the deck plays, and I'm not quite used to that yet, but that is pretty much the best draw I could have had, though. Doesn't matter. We are desperate for board control, so let's just go for it right now. That Finley isn't doing a whole lot, and he will have some trouble clearing our board right now, so that's good. Could have... Oh, that is trouble. We'll have to taunt up for that. And we can, so that's good in a sense. I don't like where this is going, though. We could kill it next turn with a Holy Nova, most probably, so I guess we'll have to go with that. So, probably making this trade, playing a taunt. Do we want to heal something? We might heal ourselves in case he has another. Is that really strange? I don't hate healing myself here. I could Forbidden Shaping for 3, and that's not awful. But if he would play another, I think that's... Yeah, I don't like healing myself too much there, but since it also plays around the second Corruptor, I think I rather like it, sure. So he hits that in, and following that I can Holy Nova, so that's pretty good. What do we got? Is that an Arcanite Reaper? No, it's not, okay. That's an Execute. Oh, of course, Execute. Are we dead? Oh my gosh. Well, not entirely. Oh, and we can steal the taunt, so that's excellent. We are still dead if we don't kill it afterwards. Can we kill that? We can't kill and steal. So a second. He doesn't have an so he would need an activator, and I guess that's okay. If he needs an activator and the other thing, I guess that's okay with me.
Death to the pretender.
Let's go face here, because we can't really kill that, and hope he doesn't have execute plus activator. That's our main concern right now. If he hits into that, then we can trade the 5-4 in and then Holy Nova, and that's fine. Hits in, so that's good. We don't die yet. Yet, of course. And now we can't hit in anymore. Actually, we can if we... Well, we definitely want to Holy Nova anyway, so that's that actually doesn't really matter too much. Because we were planning on this one anyway. Then we Holy Nova, then we trade this in, and then what else do? We want to play a taunt, I guess. Just in case of chargers. Is that better than healing ourselves? That is going to be better than healing ourselves, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure playing a taunt here is going to keep us safer. And meanwhile, he is actually down to 12 health himself, so we have 10 damage on the field. He would die to an additional Holy Nova. So there's something to consider about that Excavated Evil. If this is a deck that really wants to keep his minions out on the board, then I guess another one of those, wow. That is pretty dangerous, I will admit. But as long as we can heal our own face here, we cannot kill him right now. So that is a little sucky, but at least we can do is just do this. We could actually kill that, and that might be a safer approach. But even if he draws an execute, as long as we draw, as long as we heal our own face, we're actually fine here. I'm not going to Forbidden Shaping for 2. This is actually fine. I don't think there's a top deck that saves him here. Because the card he has would need to draw into that, and he brings us down to 1 exactly. Alright. And that is game. No, it's not. Oh my gosh. I'm such a moron. I was convinced we had won that one. Oh my gosh. Well, did I? I completely forgot about it, Hero Power. Well, I'm such a moron. Well, we could have won that game at the very least. If he didn't top deck exactly execute, we might have approached that turn a little differently, I guess. Would have traded into the 9/9 instead of that would have cost so much though. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. At any rate, if you enjoyed this episode, please do let me know. Leave a like, whatever you wish. And if you have a deck that you would like to see me play, please leave a comment. And I will consider it for next week. So with that, let me wish you a very nice day. And I will see you again tomorrow.